Have you ever wondered what makes a man look at a woman and think, she's the one I can spend the rest of my life with? Not just a partner for now, not just someone to share good times with, but someone who truly feels like home. Deep down, every man has a moment where casual attraction fades and something far more powerful takes its place. It's the moment he stops seeing you as just someone in his life and starts seeing you as the future of his life. That shift is not random. It doesn't happen by accident. It is sparked by qualities that awaken his deepest instincts for love, respect, and commitment. Most people think men only commit when the timing is right or when they've dated long enough, but research in psychology shows something very different. A man's heart makes the decision long before his mind tries to rationalize it. He knows, sometimes almost instantly, when he sees a woman who embodies the traits that signal safety, devotion, and partnership. This is not about playing games or following shallow rules. It's about connecting to the part of a man that is built to choose, to protect, and to cherish. And when you understand what triggers that shift, you hold the power to inspire the kind of bond most people spend a lifetime searching for. Right now, you may have questions, maybe even doubts. You may be asking yourself if men are really capable of deep commitment, or if the world's changed too much for love to still feel real. The truth is, the desire for lasting connection is not gone. It's hidden under the noise of distractions, fears, and insecurities. And when a man meets a woman who cuts through all of that, something inside him awakens. He begins to see not just who you are in the moment, but who you could be together in the future. He sees stability, love, and possibility. That is why this message matters, because what you will discover is not about forcing anyone to love you. It's not about chasing, convincing, or begging for attention. It's about unlocking the natural qualities that make a man lean in instead of pull away, commit instead of withdraw, and choose you instead of keeping his options open. Imagine how your life would feel if you no longer worried about whether someone was serious about you, because his actions made it clear every single day. Imagine how much lighter your heart would feel if you could stop guessing and start knowing. Stay with this until the very end, because what we're diving into will give you clarity where you may have felt confusion, strength where you may have carried doubt, and hope where you may have felt fear. The truth is simple. There are 3 qualities that, when present, instantly separate a woman from the rest and make her unforgettable in a man's eyes. These qualities do not fade with age. They do not depend on appearance, and they do not require perfection. They are timeless, powerful, and deeply magnetic to the male heart. When you understand them, you will see how naturally you can embody them and how powerfully they transform the way a man perceives you. This is your moment to open your heart, to lean in with courage, and to receive the truth that could shift everything. Because the love you dream of is not too much to ask for. It is already waiting for you. And once you understand what makes a man see you as his future wife, you will never again doubt your worth, your value, or your ability to be chosen fully, deeply, and forever. What makes a man choose one woman over every other option he has? It is not chance. It is not luck. It is the presence of qualities that make him feel something so rare, so undeniable, that he cannot imagine letting it go. When a man meets a woman who radiates these qualities, he feels a shift inside him. His thoughts quiet down, his doubts soften, and his vision for the future becomes clearer than ever. He begins to picture mornings by your side, shared victories, and the kind of partnership that makes him stronger, not weaker. This is when attraction moves from temporary excitement to lasting devotion. At the core, men are not as complicated as we often believe. They may appear guarded, distracted, or even resistant, but underneath the surface, they are searching for one thing: certainty. Certainty that the woman they choose will not only spark their heart, but also anchor their soul. Certainty that they can trust her with their vulnerability, their ambition, and their fears. This kind of certainty is what separates a casual connection from the kind of bond that becomes unbreakable. And it is built not by perfection, but by authenticity. Psychology teaches us that men, like women, are drawn to signals of emotional safety. When a woman shows she can be trusted with his honesty, when she reflects a kind of strength that does not demand but inspires, his instincts respond. His mind begins to connect the dots. This is not just attraction, this is home. And once a man feels at home in your presence, his desire to keep searching vanishes. He begins to invest not just his attention, but his future. That is why these qualities matter so much, because they create the foundation for everything else. Think about the weight this carries for your own life. How many times have you doubted whether someone was serious about you? How many times have you wondered if love was slipping away because you couldn't figure out what he was truly looking for? The exhaustion of guessing, the pain of hoping, the confusion of mixed signals, all of it fades when you know what triggers real commitment in a man's heart. That knowledge gives you power, not the power to control anyone, but the power to stop doubting yourself, the power to stop accepting less than you deserve, and the power to attract someone who is ready to give you everything without hesitation. The truth is, a man who sees you as his future wife cannot hide it. His actions will show it. His effort will prove it. And it all begins when you ignite within him the three forces that flip the switch in his heart from temporary to forever. These forces are not about manipulating, pretending, or changing who you are. They are about drawing out the deepest, truest version of yourself, the version that shines so brightly it makes him want to never look away. When you embody these qualities, a man's world reorganizes around you. He begins to protect, to prioritize, to plan. And more than that, he begins to see that with you, his life expands instead of shrinks. You are not here to settle for halfway love. You are not here to wait for breadcrumbs of affection. You are here to be fully chosen, fully seen, and fully cherished. And the moment you begin to unlock these qualities, the fear of being overlooked will dissolve. What will take its place is the steady, undeniable knowing that you are not only enough, you are exactly what he has been searching for. There is a moment in every man's heart when clarity arrives. It is the moment he realizes that love is not about excitement that fades, but about stability that grows stronger over time. What ignites this clarity is not how flawless you look or how perfectly you perform, but the way you make him feel when he is with you. If he feels free to breathe, if he feels encouraged to rise, if he feels accepted without judgment, he will begin to see you not as part of his present, but as the foundation of his future. That shift is powerful because it connects to his deepest wiring, the part of him that longs for a safe place to land and a powerful reason to fight harder in life. The truth most people overlook is that men crave emotional connection just as deeply as women do, but they often hide it behind silence, pride, or distraction. When he meets someone who draws that hidden part of him out, who makes him feel understood without having to put on a mask, he experiences something rare. He experiences relief, and relief is one of the strongest forces in attraction. To find someone who eases your battles instead of adding to them is unforgettable. For a man, that is when he stops comparing, stops wandering, and starts choosing with intention. When psychologists study long-term relationships, they find that men who commit deeply are those who feel both respected and emotionally secure with their partner. Respect is not about agreeing with everything he says. Emotional security is not about never having disagreements. It is about building an atmosphere where both people feel safe enough to bring their whole selves to the table. When you create that environment, you are not just attractive, you are irreplaceable. Because beauty can turn heads, but safety captures hearts. Think about the power of being the person who awakens this in a man. Imagine being the one who inspires him to be better, not because you demanded it, but because your presence made him believe it was possible. Imagine the strength of a love where you no longer question his intentions, because everything he does reflects his decision to choose you. That kind of bond is not fragile. It cannot be shaken by distractions, temptations, or doubts, because it is rooted in something far deeper than surface level attraction. It is rooted in uncertainty. Every man, no matter how confident or strong he seems, has moments of doubt about his place in the world. When he meets a woman who sees him not for who he pretends to be, but for who he truly is, he begins to feel a kind of trust that changes everything. He no longer worries about being judged for his flaws or dismissed for his weaknesses. Instead, he feels inspired to rise into the best version of himself, not because he has to, but because he wants to. That desire is the seed of lifelong commitment. This is why you must never underestimate the power of your presence. It is not about being perfect. It is not about always knowing what to say. It is about being authentic, steady, and real in a world that often pushes people to wear masks. When you offer that rare gift, you awaken in a man the vision of a future where love feels like freedom, where partnership feels like power, and where life feels richer because you are in it. And once he sees that vision, he will not want to let it go. When a man begins to see you as the woman he could build a life with, it is not because you followed a script or played a role. It is because you revealed qualities that touched his core and awakened his sense of destiny. One of the most powerful of these qualities is the ability to inspire him without trying to control him. When he feels that your belief in him is genuine, when he senses that you see his potential even in moments when he doubts himself, he experiences a surge of strength that connects directly to his desire to keep you close. In that moment, you are not just a partner, you become his mirror, showing him the man he wants to be. And a man who associates his highest self with your presence will never want to lose you. Human psychology shows us that people rise or fall to the level of belief shown in them. Men are no different. When he is surrounded by doubt or criticism, he retreats. But when he is met with encouragement that feels real, he expands. He starts to take risks, to step into growth, to fight for more than comfort. And every time he links that inner expansion to you, his heart forms an attachment that runs deeper than attraction. It transforms into loyalty. This is why so many men remember, not the woman who simply stood by, but the woman who ignited something inside them they did not even know was waiting to come alive. Think about what this means for you. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to carry the weight of fixing every flaw in him. You only need to embody a belief in his greatness that speaks louder than his fear. When you do that, you don't just capture his admiration, you capture his vision for the future. He starts to imagine a life where your faith becomes the soil he can plant his dreams in. That picture is intoxicating to him. It awakens his protective nature, his drive to commit, his instinct to hold on tightly to the woman who made him believe in himself again. Every man carries silent battles he rarely voices. Insecurity, pressure, fear of failure, they live beneath the surface. When he meets someone who doesn't magnify those fears, but instead offers light, he feels something he cannot explain. It feels like peace. It feels like hope. And hope is the very foundation of commitment, because no man wants to step into a future that feels small, dark, or limiting. He wants to step into a future that feels alive, expansive, and worth fighting for. When you show him that with your presence, he connects you with possibility itself. This is the quiet power you hold, the kind of power that makes him see not just who you are today, but who you could be together for decades to come. It is not about changing yourself to fit an idea of perfection. It is about standing tall in authenticity, believing deeply in your own worth, and letting that belief extend to him. That combination is magnetic. It is rare. And once a man feels it, his search ends. Because in you, he has found a woman who does not just share his world, but helps him expand it. And that is when you stop being a chapter in his story and start becoming the story he wants to live for the rest of his life. What truly separates a woman who is unforgettable from one who is only temporary is not found in external charm, but in the way she carries herself with inner strength. A man may be drawn to beauty, but he stays because of presence. When you know who you are, when you move through life with a quiet confidence that does not depend on validation, you create an energy that demands respect. That kind of presence makes a man feel both inspired and grounded. He realizes that beside you, life has weight, meaning, and direction. You are no longer just someone he enjoys. You are someone he envisions walking with through every season. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not about being louder, sharper, or always right. True confidence is calm. It is rooted in self-respect. It is the ability to say yes when your heart is open and no when your boundaries are crossed without apology or fear of rejection. Psychology reveals that people are naturally drawn to those who demonstrate self-assuredness because it signals stability. Men are no different. A woman who knows her worth communicates something powerful. She does not need him, but she chooses him. That distinction ignites commitment because nothing feels more valuable than being chosen freely by someone who has options, strength, and clarity. When you embody this inner strength, you change the way a man interacts with you. He no longer tests the edges of your patience or wonders how far he can push because your boundaries are clear. He feels respect for you, and that respect deepens his desire to commit. Respect is not built by what you demand, but by what you consistently demonstrate. The way you honor yourself shows him how to honor you. The way you hold yourself shows him how deeply you believe you are worthy of lasting love, and the man who is ready for a lifelong partner will rise to meet that standard, because he will fear losing a woman who values herself too highly to settle. Imagine what shifts inside you when you embrace this truth. You stop clinging to men who are half-hearted. You stop tolerating confusion and mixed signals. You stop wasting energy trying to convince anyone of your worth. Instead, you radiate a presence that naturally filters out the uncommitted and attracts the serious. That inner shift saves you from heartbreak because it creates a kind of clarity men cannot ignore. The man who is not ready will step back. The man who is ready will step forward because he knows he has found a woman who will not let him drift, a woman who holds herself with the dignity of someone who deserves to be chosen fully. Every man who has truly committed to a woman will tell you this: he saw in her a strength that made him want to be better, not because she demanded it, but because she lived it. Strength is contagious. Confidence is magnetic. And when you combine those qualities with warmth and authenticity, you become unforgettable. You are no longer just an option. You are the standard. And when you embody that standard, a man does not just imagine a future with you. He begins to shape his future around you because he knows that with you, life will always move toward more, never less. There's a kind of love that doesn't just make a man feel alive in the moment, but makes him imagine years into the future with certainty and excitement. That kind of love is born when he feels not only attraction and respect, but also emotional intimacy that reaches beyond surface level connection. When a woman allows herself to be vulnerable, when she opens her heart in a way that shows trust, a man feels something shift inside him. He realizes he is not just with someone who enjoys his company, but with someone who is willing to let him in, someone who trusts him with her inner world. That level of openness creates a bond that is difficult to break because it is rare, precious, and deeply human. So many people fear vulnerability, seeing it as weakness. But the truth is, vulnerability is strength. It communicates courage. It says, I am willing to let you see the real me, even if it scares me. Men are profoundly affected by this because most of the world teaches them to hide, to armor themselves, to never reveal what is fragile. When he experiences a woman who embraces honesty and shares her authentic emotions, he feels invited to put his guard down too. And when a man lets his walls fall in your presence, he begins to experience a kind of connection he cannot easily walk away from. He begins to associate you with peace, with truth, with freedom from the mask he wears everywhere else. Psychologists often note that intimacy is built not through perfection, but through shared vulnerability. It is not about always saying the right thing or hiding your flaws. It is about creating a space where imperfection is not only accepted, but honored. When you do this, you are not just showing him who you are showing him what life with you could feel like. A life where love is not a performance, but a partnership. A life where mistakes do not mean rejection, but growth. That vision is irresistible to a man who is ready for more than temporary excitement. Think about the weight of this truth. When you close yourself off, when you hide your heart behind walls of fear, you may protect yourself from short-term pain, but you also block yourself from long-term love. But when you step into courage, when you let him see your softness as well as your strength, you create a connection that stands apart. He begins to feel safe in your presence in a way he cannot find anywhere else. That safety is what makes him imagine you as his partner, his confidant, his future. Every man wants to feel like the woman beside him is more than just beautiful. He wants to feel like she is real. Real in her laughter, real in her struggles, real in her dreams. And when you let that realness shine, when you show that you are not afraid to be seen fully, you give him permission to do the same. That is when intimacy becomes unshakable. That is when commitment becomes natural. Because the truth is, a man does not just marry the woman he desires. He marries the woman he feels he can be his truest self with. And when you embody that kind of openness, he stops searching, because in you, he has found what every heart is ultimately looking for. A love that feels like home. The bond that makes a man see you as the woman he wants to spend his life with is not just built on attraction, respect, or vulnerability. It is also built on the energy you bring into his world. A man instinctively draws closer to a woman who carries light, who brings warmth into his days, who has the ability to lift his spirit even when life feels heavy. This does not mean you must always be cheerful or never experience pain. It means you hold within you a spirit that chooses hope, a heart that refuses to be defined by bitterness, and an energy that inspires rather than drains. That kind of presence becomes unforgettable because it awakens in him a vision of a life where joy outweighs struggle and love is stronger than difficulty. Psychology shows that human beings are drawn to people who elevate their emotional state. We naturally want to stay close to those who make us feel good about ourselves and about life. For men, this effect is magnified when it comes to long-term commitment. A woman who radiates lightness of heart, who chooses gratitude, who does not live consumed by constant negativity, becomes a source of emotional renewal for him. She becomes his safe place, his reset button, his reminder that life can be good even when challenges appear. And when he associates you with that feeling, he begins to imagine a future where you are not just part of his life. You are the best part of it. This does not mean pretending to be happy when you are not. It is not about hiding your struggles or denying your emotions. Real strength comes from honesty, but also from resilience. It is about showing him that no matter what happens, you refuse to be broken. It is about facing storms with courage, setbacks with determination, and pain with the belief that it will not define you. That resilience is magnetic because it tells him that life with you will not collapse under pressure. He sees in you a partner who will not only celebrate with him in victories, but also endure with him through battles. That vision of loyalty and strength cements his desire to make you his future. Imagine the power of being a woman who not only loves deeply, but also lifts deeply. A woman who knows that her presence has the ability to heal, to inspire, and to bring out the best in others. That is not just attractive, it is rare. It separates you from the noise of temporary connections because you embody something that lasts. Every man longs for someone who makes him feel alive, who brings a sense of meaning to ordinary days, who makes even silence feel like peace. When you become that presence, he cannot imagine replacing you because what you offer is not just a relationship, it is a transformation of his world. This is why your energy matters so much. It does not come from forcing yourself into constant positivity. It comes from living in alignment with your values, protecting your peace, and choosing growth over fear. When you cultivate this within yourself, it naturally flows outward. He feels it, he is moved by it, and he realizes that with you, life will not only be richer, but brighter. That is when his heart settles into certainty, and he begins to see you not as someone he hopes will stay, but as the one he knows he never wants to let go of. A man does not decide to build a life with someone because of fleeting sparks. He decides when he feels a deep alignment between his soul and hers. That alignment is born from shared values, from a sense that you both want your lives to move in the same direction, that you both believe in similar truths about love, loyalty, and purpose. Attraction may capture his attention, but alignment captures his future. Without it, even the strongest chemistry fades. With it, even the greatest challenges can be overcome. This is why when he sees that your values mirror the vision he holds for his own life, something powerful ignites in him. He no longer wonders if you are temporary. He begins to see you as inevitable. Men are wired to think about legacy even if they do not always say it out loud. They think about the kind of life they want to build, the kind of family they want to protect, the kind of future they want to wake up to years from now. When you embody values that align with those unspoken dreams, you instantly separate yourself from the rest. He feels safe not only with your presence, but with your direction. He realizes he does not need to compromise his core beliefs to be with you. He can expand them. That realization makes him want to hold on tighter because he understands that finding true alignment is rare, and once found, it cannot be replaced. Psychology confirms that long-term satisfaction in relationships is not based on constant passion, but on shared meaning. Two people can feel intense attraction and still fall apart if they do not share a foundation of values. But when values are aligned, passion is not only sustained, it deepens over time. Disagreements still happen, challenges still arise, but the relationship holds steady because both are rooted in something bigger than temporary feelings. That is the soil where marriages thrive. That is the ground where commitment grows unshakable. This is why it matters to stand strong in who you are and what you believe. When you live with clarity, when you honor your own values without wavering, You communicate something vital. You are not lost. You are not uncertain. And you will not settle for a life that betrays your principles. That strength is deeply attractive because it tells him you are someone he can trust to stand beside him, not only in love, but in life. A man who wants to build something lasting is not looking for someone to entertain him. He is looking for someone to anchor him. And when your values align with his, he feels he has found not just a lover, but a partner in destiny. Imagine the relief of no longer questioning if you are moving in the same direction. Imagine the peace of knowing that the person you love dreams of a future that looks like yours. That peace is what makes a man stop searching. That peace is what makes him begin planning, envisioning, and shaping his path with you at the center of it. Because in you, he does not just see a partner for today. He sees the future wife who will walk with him into every tomorrow. And he knows with certainty that together you will build something unbreakable. When a man finds alignment in values, he also begins to look for consistency in action. Words can inspire him, but it is the steady pattern of how you live that cements his trust. A man may be drawn to promises, but he commits to proof. When he sees that your actions match your words, when he notices that your choices are not swayed by every passing influence, he feels a kind of security that few ever provide. That consistency tells him you are not just someone who speaks about love, but someone who lives it. And once a man feels he can rely on your character, his heart begins to relax because he no longer fears instability. He sees in you a future that feels safe, a love that feels real, and a woman who is strong enough to walk with him through anything. Trust is the currency of lasting love. Without it, every bond eventually crumbles under the weight of doubt. But when trust is present, even storms cannot destroy what has been built. Psychology shows that reliability is one of the strongest predictors of long-term satisfaction in relationships. It is not about grand gestures or dramatic expressions. It is about showing up again and again in ways that prove your love is steady, not conditional. For a man, this steadiness is magnetic. It tells him that with you, he will not have to live in constant fear of abandonment or betrayal. He can give himself fully because he knows you will not disappear when life becomes difficult. Consistency also communicates something deeper about your own self-worth. It shows that you are not living to impress him in the short term, but to stay aligned with your principles in the long term. That kind of strength cannot be faked, and men feel it immediately. It draws them in because it signals that you are not shaped by pressure, that your love is not built on impulse, and that your presence is not temporary. You become the rare kind of woman who radiates permanence in a world full of uncertainty. And permanence is what every man secretly longs for when he thinks about a future wife. Imagine the shift that happens when a man no longer questions if you mean what you say, when he no longer doubts whether your love is real. That peace changes the way he invests in you. He begins to open more deeply, to give more freely, to plan more boldly. He no longer guards himself because your steadiness has proven you are not a fleeting chapter, but a lifelong partner. This is the invisible force that transforms affection into devotion. Every man wants to know that the woman he chooses will stand beside him, not only in easy seasons, but in hard ones. And when your consistency proves that you are not moved by circumstances, he begins to imagine a life with you where love is not fragile, but unshakable. He sees that you are not only beautiful to him, you are dependable, trustworthy, and rare. And when a man finds that rare combination, he does not let it slip away. He holds it close, he protects it fiercely, and he begins to shape his future around it because he knows that in your steadiness, he has found a love he can finally trust forever. A man may be captivated by attraction, inspired by your confidence, and grounded by your consistency, but what ultimately makes him see you as his future wife is the way you make him feel understood. To a man, being seen for who he truly is carries a power far greater than admiration for what he shows the world. Most men spend their lives wearing armor, performing strength, and hiding their fears. When you cut through that armor, when you listen without judgment, when you hear not just his words, but the emotions behind them, he experiences something rare. He feels known. And the moment a man feels truly known, he begins to see the woman who gave him that gift as irreplaceable. Understanding is not the same as agreement. It is not about always seeing life through his lens or erasing your own perspective. True understanding is about presence. It is about the ability to slow down, to listen deeply, to care about what lies beneath the surface. Psychology shows that one of the deepest human needs is the need to be understood. When this need is met, bonds strengthen effortlessly. When it is unmet, even the strongest attraction eventually weakens. For men, whose emotions are often dismissed or misunderstood, the impact of genuine understanding is even more profound. It becomes a source of loyalty, devotion, and trust. Think about what this means in love. When you choose to understand, you show him that his heart is safe with you. You show him that he does not have to perform strength every moment, that he can lay his burdens down without fear of being diminished. This creates a space where intimacy deepens beyond anything surface-level attraction could offer. He stops feeling like he has to prove himself to be worthy of you. Instead, he starts feeling like he belongs with you because you accept the man behind the mask. That shift is what transforms hesitation into certainty. This does not mean you must tolerate disrespect or excuse harmful behavior. It means you create an atmosphere where honesty can exist without punishment, where vulnerability is met with compassion instead of criticism. When a man experiences this with you, he associates you with relief. And relief is one of the most powerful forces in love. It makes him want to be near you, not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. He begins to feel that life with you is lighter, freer, more authentic. That feeling is addictive in the healthiest way because it fulfills the deepest need every human carries, the need to be fully seen and still fully chosen. Imagine the strength of a bond where he never has to wonder if you understand his intentions, his dreams, his struggles. Imagine the security of a love where he feels like he doesn't have to edit himself to be accepted. That security becomes the foundation of a lifelong partnership because attraction may open the door, but understanding keeps it from ever closing. And when you embody this rare gift, he does not just think about how much he desires you, he thinks about how impossible it would be to ever replace you. That realization is when a man stops asking if you are the one and starts planning how to make sure you never leave his side. When a man feels truly understood, the next force that solidifies his vision of you as his future wife is the way you honor and respect yourself. Respect is the foundation of how others treat you. And when a man sees that you refuse to compromise your dignity, he instinctively recognizes your worth. A woman who values herself communicates without words that she will not settle for half-hearted love, that she will not accept inconsistency, and that she expects the same depth of devotion she is ready to give. That kind of self-respect is magnetic because it tells him he is not dealing with someone temporary. He's encountering someone timeless. Psychology shows that people treat us according to the standards we set for ourselves. When you draw clear boundaries, when you protect your peace, when you refuse to chase after what does not honor you, you train others in how to show up for you. Men notice this immediately. A woman who values her own heart signals to him that she can value his as well. She becomes trustworthy not only in love but in life because she has proven that her integrity is not negotiable. That is the kind of strength that makes him not only admire you but want to commit to you. Self-respect also ignites a man's protective instinct. When he sees you guarding your worth with confidence, he wants to step in and protect it too, not because you need saving, but because your example awakens his drive to cherish. He knows that if he wants to stand by you, he must rise to the level you set. This is what separates men who linger for convenience from men who commit for life. The ones who are not ready will fade, but the one who is ready will meet you at the standard you live by. Imagine how much lighter love becomes when you no longer plead for effort, when you no longer lower yourself to earn scraps of affection. Instead, you stand firm in your truth, and the right man steps forward to match it. That is the power of respect. It weeds out what is weak and attracts what is strong. It clears away the uncertain and highlights the certain. It transforms your relationships because it transforms how you see yourself. Every man who chooses a woman for life chooses her because she carries herself with dignity. She does not need to demand it. Her presence commands it. And when you embody this strength, you do not just inspire his attraction, you inspire his commitment. He knows he has found someone he cannot replace, someone whose value will only grow over time, someone who makes him want to become the man who is worthy of her. And when that realization settles in, He no longer looks around. He looks forward toward building a future where his life and yours are forever intertwined. A man may be drawn to your beauty, impressed by your strength, and anchored by your self-respect, but what ultimately binds his heart is the vision you inspire. Men are naturally driven by purpose. They need a direction, a reason to keep moving forward, a dream bigger than themselves. When he looks at you and sees not just a partner for the present, but a companion for the future, everything changes. You are no longer just someone he enjoys. You become someone he envisions building his entire life around. That shift is what transforms temporary attraction into lifelong devotion. This vision is not about perfection. It is about the feeling he gets when he imagines tomorrow with you. Do you bring peace to his storms? Do you encourage his growth? Do you believe in his potential even when he doubts himself? These qualities create a vision of partnership that is rare and unforgettable. Psychology proves that people are motivated to commit when they can see a long-term reward tied to their choices. When a man sees his future with you as brighter than his future without you, his loyalty becomes unstoppable. He no longer fears commitment because commitment now feels like freedom. Freedom to live his purpose with someone who amplifies it. Think about how powerful this is. Many men move through life unsure where they belong, questioning if their dreams matter, hiding the parts of themselves they fear no one will understand. When you stand beside him not as a critic but as an ally, you become the one who reminds him that his life has meaning. You are not shrinking yourself to fit his path, but you are showing him that your paths can align. That alignment creates clarity, and clarity is what every man craves when he thinks about marriage. He does not want endless confusion. He wants to know without doubt that the woman before him is someone he can grow with, someone who makes him want to be more, someone who makes life's battles worth fighting. This is why your energy matters more than your words. When you embody peace, joy, faith, and resilience, he starts to imagine raising children with you, building a home with you, waking up years from now and still feeling inspired by your presence. That picture becomes so vivid in his mind that he cannot shake it. And once that picture takes root, it begins to guide his decisions. He stops entertaining temporary distractions because nothing compares to the vision of forever that he sees with you. The truth is, every man longs for love that feels like destiny. He may not always admit it, but deep down, he wants to find the one who makes his future feel safe, exciting, and meaningful. When you awaken that desire within him, you do not have to convince him to stay. He chooses to with certainty because he knows that you are not just part of his life. You are his life's greatest direction. The moment a man envisions a future with you, what deepens that vision into certainty is the trust you inspire. Trust is the invisible thread that turns desire into devotion, attraction into permanence, love into partnership. Without trust, even the strongest bond will eventually unravel. With it, two people can weather storms, survive trials, and emerge stronger together. For a man, trust is not built through grand gestures alone. It is woven through the quiet consistency of your actions, your honesty, and the way you align your words with your truths. Trust is one of the most powerful psychological triggers in human connection. Research shows that when people feel safe, their brains release oxytocin, the bonding hormone that cements emotional closeness. In love, safety is everything. If he feels he can rely on your word, if he believes you mean what you say and you say what you mean, he relaxes into the relationship in a way he never could with someone else. That sense of ease becomes addictive and draws him closer, not because he is afraid of losing you, but because he knows life with you makes him stronger, calmer, and more focused. Trust is also about transparency. When you show that you can handle difficult conversations without manipulation or avoidance, he begins to believe in the stability of what you are building. He no longer fears that silence hides betrayal or that affection hides resentment. He feels free to give more of himself because he knows that openness will not be used against him. In that freedom, intimacy flourishes. A man who feels truly safe in your presence will open doors to his heart that remain locked with everyone else. But trust is not only about him, it is about you as well. When you trust yourself, when you trust your judgment, when you trust your worth, you radiate a confidence that makes him want to be trustworthy in return. A man will often rise to the level of the trust he is given. If he feels constantly doubted, He may retreat, but if he feels honored with your faith in him, he will work to protect it. He will become more dependable, more consistent, more loyal, not out of obligation, but because he does not want to risk losing the bond you have created. Picture the strength of a love where trust is unshakable. No games, no endless guessing, no walls built out of fear, just the deep knowing that what you give each other is real. That kind of connection is rare, and when a man finds it, he knows it cannot be replaced. It becomes the compass guiding his loyalty, the anchor holding him steady, the fire reminding him every day that he has found the one. And this is why trust is more than a foundation. It is a promise that says, I will be real with you. I will stand beside you. I will honor this bond. When you embody that promise, he no longer looks at you as just a partner for today. He sees you as the partner he wants for every tomorrow. When trust takes root, it blossoms into something even more powerful, loyalty. Loyalty is not just about being faithful in action. It is about being faithful in heart, in mind, in vision. A man may desire many, admire many, respect many, but he will only ever be loyal to one, the one who awakens in him a sense of belonging he cannot find anywhere else. Loyalty is the invisible vow he makes before words are spoken, the silent commitment he carries in his soul. It is what transforms the idea of love from a fleeting moment into a lifelong decision. Psychology shows that loyalty grows strongest when people feel deeply valued and emotionally invested. A man becomes loyal to the woman who makes him feel not just chosen, but prioritized, when he knows that he is not a backup plan, not a temporary option, but a deliberate choice. His heart responds by anchoring itself to hers. And when you mirror that loyalty, when your actions show that he matters, that you stand beside him in both strength and struggle, you plant a seed that grows into unshakable devotion. Loyalty is also forged in moments of testing. Anyone can love when times are easy, but true loyalty shows when life feels heavy, when you choose to stand, not because it is convenient, but because it is right. He sees that your bond is real. He sees that you are not with him only for the highs, but that you are strong enough to endure the lows. This inspires him to give the same in return. He begins to think not only of his happiness, but of protecting yours. That shift is profound because loyalty is not just receiving, it is giving and giving endlessly. But loyalty is not blind submission. It is not silencing yourself or accepting less than you deserve. Real loyalty is rooted in self-respect. It says, I will give you my heart, but I will not betray my soul. That balance is what makes a man's loyalty deepen. When he sees that you are loyal without losing yourself, he knows your love is not born of desperation, but of strength. That kind of loyalty is rare, and men recognize its value instantly. Imagine the stability of a love where loyalty is unshakable. No need to question intentions. No space for hidden doubts. Just the quiet power of knowing you belong to each other fully. That stability creates freedom. He no longer feels the urge to search outside because what he has within is everything he has ever needed. He no longer fears the future because he knows his loyalty is safe with someone who treasures it. This is the moment where his heart stops wandering. This is when he looks at you and knows that no matter what storms life may bring, no matter what trials may come, he has already chosen. And once a man decides in his soul to be loyal, his decision is final. He does not drift. He does not question. He does not wonder. He commits fully and forever.